Hallelujah. Bless the Lord.
Amen. Amen. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Uncommon Good family. We are so excited. Thank you, Teddy. Thank you for this amazing worship. Thank you. You guys can be seated for sure. So welcome. Welcome. How's everybody doing this evening? Good? It didn't sound too good. How y'all doing this evening? Good? All right. Well, for those who don't know me, I'm Destiny. I am one of the podcast hosts for Uncommon Good Podcast. So just welcome everyone. We are so excited to have you here with us this evening. We have an amazing fashion show for you coming up later on tonight. We're going to kick things off with our incredible co-host, Tom. So for those of you who know Tom, you know he's an incredible man of God. And I'm so excited to introduce him. He is my brother from another mother. He is anointed and appointed for a time like this. And I'm just so grateful and thankful that God put us together. He may or may not be slightly more fashionable than I am. I mean, it's hard to say. But we definitely complete each other in terms of just our walk in faith. He pushes me, I push him. And again, I'm just incredibly proud of the work he's done. I mean, no big deal. He's written like 4 books, 3 books. He has like 5 shirts. He has a small business. He's doing his thing. He's teaching people how to write books. He's teaching people how to be men of God in this world, women of God in this world, and that's an incredible calling. And so it is an honor and a privilege to bring him to the stage tonight. So, Mr. Tom Bishop Miller.
What's up, everybody?
Tom!
What's up?
What's up, brother?
Teddy, thank you for being here. Man. For those of you guys that don't know, Teddy's from Atlanta, and so he flew in this morning to be here with us for the conference, and so and a lot of people did. So I'm so excited. My family's here, and an extended family, and so this is such an amazing moment for us because it's been a long time coming, it feels like. So God spoke to me in January, the end of January, just driving down the road, and he said, just out of the clear blue, it felt like that he wanted us to host a conference here in Oklahoma City. And I was like, what? Are you sure, God, that you got the right number this time? And so it just kind of started from there. And I talked to Destiny about it, and it was just like, it just started planning, and I was like, okay, Russ, hold on, this one's going to be a big one. We got to talk about this. And it was just one of those things when you get an assignment from God. It was such a special thing, and so we just didn't know how special it was going to be until tonight. So God has given me something very special to speak with you about tonight, and I just can't wait to give it to you, and just hope that I can give it to you as well as he gave it to me. So I want to start off by reading something that is very special to me, and it started a whole lot of who I am as Level Up with Tom, and a whole lot of the things. And so the Lord gave this word to me, and so I want to share it with you because we're going to talk about breaking labels. And so that's how we came up with the breaking labels part of this, the title for this. And so the labels you wear, why? You put labels on yourself and allow others to do the same. When you are in me, you are a new creation.
Yeah.
Old things have passed away. They're dead.
Yes.
They're dead. So stop holding on to dead things.
Come on.
My word says, my thoughts are not your thoughts. My ways, my plans are different than yours. Because I see past all the labels and the junk that you carry to what I see that you are. I am bringing this to your attention because these things are stumbling blocks. They are tripping you up. Come on, somebody.
Come on.
Where you are going, there is no time for you to be held up. Y'all ever feel held up? Come on. This is the work that you must do to progress. So here's your assignment. Stop allowing yourself to get stuck and hung up at the exact same place every time before you slip backwards. This is the time to push past you and get past all the labels to what I know about you. This time is different. You are ready and you feel it. Come on.
You better preach.
Take off the old, heavy, rotten labels and watch me advance you with quick, exact, purposeful accuracy. You have been preparing for this.
Yes.
So don't get stage fright now. Y'all, I've been saying that to myself a lot this week. We've been preparing a lot for this. So don't get stage fright. Don't get up here and start mumbling and humbling, right? Yeah, I need to be humbling, yeah. But allow others to see you push past the outward. Be the example of what I can do. Come on, we're talking about assignment, right? Be that example of what God can do. You are living proof of what I can do and will do. Push past your feelings and the outward obstacles. Once you get this and decide you are moving forward, things will begin to change.
Yeah.
Y'all, I'm literally living, breathing example of this right here. Speak it out of your mouth. The power of life and death are in our tongue, right?
That's right.
Speak it out of your mouth. Limits are gone. Labels are gone. Choose to allow yourself to move past this. This is the exact spot to declare your victory. I have sharpened your discernment for this. The uncomfortableness of this season has led you here. And are you ready to stop wandering in your wilderness and step into the promised land? Yes. It's closer than you think. You have the ability to remove the slave label and step into what I have for you.
This is good time.
Or continue the endless circling. Which do you really prefer? I know my plans for you, he says. But do you know? I am closer to you now than ever before. I have seen and heard your boldness. I really have. I see you. Come on.
Yeah.
He sees us. Come on. And this is the crossroads point for you. I am the God of love and will guide you every step of the way. You know the way and which steps to take, so will you take them. Take off labels and put on what I say you are. Others are waiting, watching, praying, and expecting their answer. You just might be that answer. Step into your next and allow me to show you the impossible. Allow me to show you the labelless version of you I see. So tonight, not only are we going to talk about labels, but we're going to talk about, the title is, what are your issues? What are your issues? And the story that we're going to talk about, what's up everybody online? I got somebody, we decided to go live so a few people could be with us. So one of my favorite stories is about the woman with the issue of blood. What is your issue tonight? So of course the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, right? They talk to us about this story. And one thing when I'm reading, it's like they don't give me enough detail. I'm like, first of all, what was her name? What was she wearing? Right? Like,
Was she fly?
Was she fly? And so they just don't, right? They just reported the facts as it, And so they weren't interested, I guess, in what her name was. And so I still can't process that. I'm like, what? Why don't you care what her name was? But Mark and Luke give the best versions of this story. And Luke was a physician, so in case you didn't know that. So his description's a little different than the others. And so for those of you that don't know, I'm a nurse. And I do marketing, but I'm a nurse. Been a nurse 31 years this month, by the way.
Woo!
Thank you. And so I can always tell, these are my kids up here, my grown children. And so Tyler turned 31 the first of the year. And so he actually was, not even quite a year old when I took him in his car seat and handed him off to his Nana and ran across town to take my boards for nursing. And it was, just a crazy time. And so Luke gives us a really good, like I said, version of this story as opposed to the other. They made it seem pretty cut and dry, right? And I'm like, this was such a powerful story. What? This is all you gotta say about it? And so you're gonna hear my version of it tonight. I'm gonna give a little more drama, maybe. But I'm gonna read a couple of scriptures about it, and then I'll get really into it. Who's Leak? Luke 8:43 through 48 reads, a woman in the crowd had suffered for 12 years with constant bleeding, spending all she had, and could find no cure. And in one version of it says she suffered many things from many physicians. So hold on to that thought, because we're gonna get into that. She could find no cure. So coming up behind Jesus, she touched the fringe of his robe or the hem of his garment, and immediately the bleeding stopped. Who touched me? Jesus asked. And everyone denied it, right? And Peter's one of my favorite people. Like I said this to somebody the other day. I was like, I can't wait to talk to Peter. Like, I'm not ready to go to heaven yet, but I cannot wait to talk to Peter because he is so thug, right? And like, he always challenged stuff and always had something to say about it. And so he's like, Jesus, don't you see this crowd? This crowd is so thick. There's so many people pressing up against us. It's suffocating. It says in one of the versions. There's so many people. Have you ever been in that situation where so many people are just like, they're pressing up against it. Everybody's touching you. That was the answer, basically. Well, what do you mean, who touched you? And he said, someone deliberately touched me. There's a difference in touching someone and deliberately touching somebody because you need something, right? And so he said, for I felt healing power flow out of me. When the woman realized that she could not stay hidden, she began to tremble and fell to her knees in front of him. The whole crowd heard her explain why she had touched him and that she had been immediately healed. Daughter, he said to her, your faith has made you well. Go in peace. Now, of course, if you've been in church 5 minutes, you probably heard the story. But she suffered with this issue for 12 years. The label that she has is she's labeled the woman with the issue of blood. We don't even know what her name is. We know her as a woman with the issue of blood. Blind Bartimaeus, the one with the issue of blood. Doubting Thomas. All these things were labels that we used to identify her. They didn't bother to tell us what her name is. I'm still stuck on that. But they called her this woman with the issue of blood always. Right? So, but that's not who she is.
Come on.
She didn't die the woman with the issue of blood.
Talk, Tom.
She died, healed, whole, and a revivalist, because you don't leave an encounter like this and not tell somebody. Right? So what are your issues tonight? Baby doll. With the issue of what? Destiny. With the issue of who? What? What can go in that blank tonight? And so, she suffered for 12 years with this. Listen, last year felt like 12 years for me, right? We suffered some things last year as a family, professionally, spiritually. Yo, we suffered some things. It was an attack like no other. But kept praying, kept pushing, kept just, okay, God, I don't know what's going on, but I trust you. Okay, I know I'm being crushed, but I don't know for what, but I know it's going to be big. Welcome to the big for right now.
Yeah.
Woo!
So, since I'm a nurse, God talks to me a little differently than maybe he might talk to you. Because, he knows I like detail, right? He made me unique and on purpose, right? And so I need the details. And so I was studying this a while ago, a couple years ago, and he showed me something, and so I need you to stay with me, okay? Because it's powerful if you will get it. So he showed me a uterus, okay? And so obviously how the reproduction system works is the uterus is such a powerful organ, right? It goes through a cycle of sloughing off the old, dead, rotten cells, right? Mm-hmm. The body needs to get rid of it for a season, right? For a time. But during that time, you're miserable, you're uncomfortable, you don't feel good, right? And, but also, you're not able to conceive typically. Right now, I know that it happens. But during that time, the point is that you are flushing your system and then it goes into the next cycle. So typically, you're not able to conceive. So he showed this to me, and sometimes we're like this uterus, where we stay so irritated. We have so many issues, and we're bleeding on each other, and we're bleeding on ourselves, and we're bleeding on people that didn't cut us. And we come to church week after week, or we watch a podcast, or we watch a sermon, or we watch, listen, pray, blah, blah, blah. And we take the word in, but it can't implant. It can't implant into our spiritual uterus so that it can grow into the call, into the thing that God wants us to do. Because we have these issues, right? And it's irritated and it stays, right? And it won't attach. It just keeps sloughing. 12 years, y'all, she suffered with this issue of bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. And in those times, most of you probably know this, she was unclean. So she couldn't be around people. If she touched people, they were unclean, and then they had to go through a process of being, ceremonially cleaned. That's the word. And so she was then isolated from her religious community. She couldn't find a husband because then he would be unclean, right? She didn't have any covering, okay? And so she was alone probably a lot of the time. And so 12 years, she went to physician after physician after physician to try to figure out what was wrong with her so that she could fix this, right? Spent all of her money. She suffered. They probably told her some crazy, barbaric things to fix this issue. And she got desperate enough to do whatever they said at this point. After you've gone to the 100th doctor who tells you something crazier, you just do whatever they tell you. They're the professionals, right? And so she was desperate for something different. And it reminded me of when we're talking about physicians, it made me think about Christians or religious people. How many of you have suffered many things from many religious people? How many of you have suffered many things from the church is supposed to be the hospital, right? We're supposed to be part of the team that helps people heal. So if you come in here and you get wounded worse by what some of us are doing, right? We just believed on each other and no one's getting better. We have a problem. And so that's what it made me think about was how many of us have suffered many things from many religious people. Labeling us, you're this, you're that, so you can't do this because you're whatever. But God said, take off those labels and all the junk that you carry and be who I said that you are and be the example of what I can do and what I will do if you will just step out and be obedient. Come on. Saying yes can be scary. Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It can be scary
So
because then you
is.
get out of control. And then you don't know what's coming next. So, but labels don't define you, right? So the woman was labeled unclean, untouchable, and outcast. As I mentioned, she was disconnected from her people, right? That's exactly what the enemy wants for us. He wants us to get away from people, each other, that will build you up, love on you, tell you sometimes hard truths, right? Sometimes we got, no, you can't act like that. He wants you to be isolated because then he can really work on you and your mind can really start going and all that crap that we tell ourselves. He loves that when it's negative. Many of us carry labels of being rejected, too much, not enough, whatever. Because of somebody else's opinion. And just like fashion can cover or reveal labels, labels can hide your true identity, but they are not who you are.
That's good.
See, I can put on this jacket naked and cover my belly, right? At that age, right? I just turned 53 this year. I got this little something here. And so, but I could disguise it, right? I got on this vest that kind of helps hold it in, right? At least I think it does. It probably isn't. And so I can put on whatever, and it can disguise it, but it doesn't define who I am.
Yeah.
Because that's on the inside, right? That's what my heart is. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh again, right? And so one of my favorite things, it's on the t-shirt in the back, watch my fruit. You might not like me. You might not agree with my life. All I'm saying to you is watch my fruit. Woo. Because God called, God can do whatever God wants to do. And so my job is to be the example of whatever he says. And say, okay, God, you made me like this. You made me uniquely. Later on with our fashion show, we're gonna talk about this, about how we're uniquely made on purpose. And so, faith that pushes through the crowd. She pressed through the crowd, desperate, despite the shame and the fear of being caught, because she wasn't supposed to be there. She was not supposed to be in a crowd of people, because anybody that she touched was going to be unclean. Well, I just told you that it was suffocating, there were so many people. So she was probably touching somebody. But when you've spent all you've got, you've done all you know to do, what else do you have to lose?
Right.
But the one thing that I love, and I have such this picture in my mind of, she was desperate. And so she didn't walk through that crowd like she was somebody. She was down, right? She was down here crawling through the crowd, saying, I am desperate for a touch. I am desperate, and I will do whatever it takes. It doesn't matter if I look crazy.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what anybody else says about me. It doesn't matter if they would do it this way. I'm fixing to lose my life.
Come on.
So I will do whatever it takes. Even if it takes you getting low, down here. Because down here, you can sort of see a little bit better path.
Yup.
We have little weenie dogs, and they can get places quick. Right? And they do. They move
Especially
around.
Chloe.
Especially Chloe. She's the puppy. But she was desperate, y'all. And so she was weaving her way through the crowd. And she didn't even need to make a scene. She just wanted to touch. That's all I need is just to touch, just a piece of lint on Jesus. And I know that I'll be healed. Because, why? Because she heard about Jesus. It's our responsibility to tell people about Jesus. It's our responsibility to be that example so that they know where to come to get better. And so she did that with her knees knocking. Again, she probably could have been put to death if she would have been caught. And then, of course, Jesus felt it go out of it. Because all those other people, Jesus touched. Jesus healed. But he said, who touched me?
Yeah.
Who got desperate enough to come through this crowd, hell or high water, I'm going to get to where I got to get to.
Yeah.
And he said, who touched me? Who did that? And of course she didn't want to say because she was going to get in trouble. And so, but then she was healed. And so then she got to testify about it, right? And so, now of course some of them probably wasn't quite as excited about it as she was because they didn't suffer for 12 years. But, so from outcast to example, that one kind of touches me.
Come
just
on.
a little bit. Jesus called her daughter and made her whole in front of the crowd, in front of the very group of people who would have took her out, strapped her up, threw rocks at her, whatever they did to her. And he publicly identified her as, you used to be the woman with the issue of blood before you crawled up in here. But now you are daughter, now you are son, now you are anointed, called, chosen,
Yes.
important.
Upgrade that label.
Right. Chick said, no, that's not it. That's not it. We're not there. Breaking label of fear and self-doubt empowers others to step into their miracle. So he asked us in this word that I read to you earlier, take off those heavy, rotten labels and watch him implant the seed of his promise into us so his promises can grow to maturity. There's a process to that, though. You don't just have a baby, right? You got to go through the process. You got to go through the process of feeling a little bit weird, maybe get morning sickness, maybe get night sickness, maybe get all the sickness, right? Then you start getting uncomfortable again, and then you start stretching and pulling, and your body changes, and it doesn't feel good, and you get uncomfortable, and the bigger the baby gets, the more uncomfortable you get. The uncomfortableness of this season has brought you here.
Yes.
To this point
Yes.
of saying, this thing is now full maturity. Well, guess what? I got to see both my kids born, my grandchildren be born. You get to that point on go time, and that baby's coming out. Right? That's just it. One way or the other, it's coming out. Whether you have to have a little help, or whether it comes out naturally, it's coming out.
Yeah.
Right? But it's uncomfortable. It's scary. It's you don't know what to expect. Even if you've had 12 kids, they're all a little bit different. And so it's go time. that's what I've been feeling this whole week.
Let's go.
Of us doing this conference. You know, we've been planning this thing for about 9 months. We've been planning this thing for about 9 months, and we've been feeling uncomfortable, and we've been growing and stretching and pulled and felt a little crazy. Probably people looked at us a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be on the Zoom again? Yes, I promise you this is, yes, one more time. And then it's time. Then it's time to go. It's go time.
Let's
Go
go.
It's go time. And so the options are ours. The options are ours. It's just like when you do go to the doctor. If you go to the doctor and they prescribe you medication, if you don't take it, how are you going to get well?
Nothing changes.
It doesn't change. Right. So sometimes we have to take spiritual medication as well. And sometimes we don't like it. Sometimes it doesn't taste very good. Sometimes you got to go apologize to somebody because you act crazy. And sometimes you have to do good to those who don't do good to you, and pray for those who despitefully use you. Not react how you want to react. That's a big one for me.
No clapping back.
Because Tom, about 2020, would have said the F word about 1,100 times, probably.
Come on, Peter.
Right? But not anymore. It doesn't even come out, right? And but it would. It would have. So, what issues? What's your issue? What's your issue, and how many years you've been dealing with it? How many physicians, how many people that you've been up trying to help you get through it that they haven't? The other part of that story that I didn't really touch too much on was there was 2 stories in one, and it's so powerful, and I love it so much. But Jesus had just landed where he was, and there was a religious ruler that came up to him, and they knew who he was. His name was Jairus. So they knew his name, they didn't know her name. Because what? He was important. He was a religious leader. He had status. He had 300,000 Instagram followers. What? He could do something. I mean, that wasn't the thing, but I'm just using that as an example. He came to Jesus because his daughter, who also happened to be 12 years old, come on, somebody. You will do anything for your kids, right? And then let's talk about the grandbabies. You for sure will. And you have both kidneys. I'll just do something else, right? But his daughter was 12 years old and she was dying. And he needed to get Jesus to come heal her, right? And as they're having this quick exchange, here comes the woman with the issue of blood and said, I don't even need to make a spectacle. I don't even need to interrupt what's going on. I know Jesus is important. He's busy. I just need to get a little touch, right? I just need to get a little touch. And I'll be real quiet about it. Nobody even has to know it. I'll just sneak in and I'll just touch real quick and then I'll go away and I'll be okay. On his way to heal Jairus' daughter, Jesus says, hold up, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Who touched me? Who came up in this crowd with enough boldness, enough faith to say, I'm not leaving here like I came. I walked up in here with some issues. I walked up in here with some labels, but I can't afford to leave here like I came.
So good.
So I have to do whatever it takes. He said, hold up. Jairus had just had to hold on. And then they have this exchange, right? And then here comes somebody from Jairus' house and says, don't worry about bothering the teacher because your daughter's already dead. So it's okay. You don't need to bother him anymore. You know, sometimes God will allow a situation to hold you up, to let something die, so that he can show up and show out for you in such a way that there's no doubt that it was God that did it. Right? And that's do you not really know who I am? He's like, that's okay, let's go ahead and go anyway. So he let her, maybe he let her go, right? Jesus needed this to be a miracle so that we can stand here in September of 2025 and be talking about it. And so, but she interrupted him from creating, from doing something, a healing, which ended up turning it into a miracle. So sometimes you're trying to get a miracle, you're trying to get a healing, but really he needs you to have a miracle.
Come on.
So what are your issues? What are your issues? What issues do you allow to define you, to label you? Because you don't understand that there are sometimes some things need to die. Sometimes there's some friendships, some situations, some relationships that just aren't serving you anymore.
Yep.
Listen, I started asking some questions to God. I said, God, help me to see what you want me to see, hear what you want me to hear, and say what you want me to say. And then he did. And then when you start seeing some people like he wants you to see them, you're like, whoa, I got 20/20 vision now. Now I'm starting to see the manipulation. Now I'm starting to see the controlling. Now I'm starting to see the narcissism. Now what are we going to do about it, God? We're going to wait for a miracle. And so sometimes we want a healing, but he wants to give us a miracle. So what are your issues? What are your issues? What could you put in that blank? So I just want to leave you with the thought of sometimes we have to get uncomfortable and we have to put ourselves in a position of doing whatever it takes to get to where we need to touch him so that we can have our miracle. And stop with the putting on of labels. We put it on ourselves because we have this need to identify stuff, and everything has to have a something, right? But it doesn't. It doesn't. And so when you start believing negative labels and negative things that people say about you, and it cripples you, right? It trips you up. It makes you slide backwards. And then you're dealing with the same things over and over and over. Like, God, why can't I get past this? Because we don't want to go through the uncomfortableness sometimes. Because it's hard. It's hard when you're the one standing there saying, God, I don't know what you're doing, but I trust you. I trust you. I don't see how this is going to work, but I trust you. You told me some crazy things, God, and I can't see it, but I trust you. So I just want to, as Teddy plays something, worship, I just want us to just stand and just be in God's presence for just a minute. And just release those things that you walked in here with. A little bit of heaviness. Come on, stand up, everybody. A little bit of heaviness, a little bit of weariness.